Assalamu alaikum. I'm Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. I wanted to bring my love and joy and support to Islamic Relief during this Ramadan season. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you.
Let us salute Islamic Relief USA for living up to the calling of this holy month, helping local organizations, providing food security, health care, and financial assistance to struggling communities and resettled refugees.
Our Muslim American community has been on the front lines in Florida's 9th Congressional District and other areas of the nation to help us recover.
I'm grateful for all the work they are doing in my district and around the world.
Islamic Relief USA is constantly working together for a better world.
Your charitable efforts to help reduce hunger, educate refugees, and assist survivors of domestic abuse embody the noble values that are honored in Ramadan.
Your work to put the Muslim values of community and charity into action has helped not only provide food, but also healthcare, financial assistance, and many more hit hardest by this pandemic.
Islamic Relief USA and the Muslim American community in my district have lived those values to the fullest these last 2 years.
Thank you to Islamic Relief USA for the work you do to lift the voices of Muslims all around the world.
As we continue to fight for a more just and more tolerant world, I am honored to be your partner in Congress.
It's this community care that binds us as a global human family.
We are better for all that you have contributed and the difference that you make.
I wish you and all of my Muslim brothers and sisters a blessed month of peace and spiritual renewal.
May peace and love be brought upon you. Ramadan Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and Ramadan Mubarak. How's everybody doing today? We're here on another Tuesday. We're going to make it do what it do on Tuesday. I appreciate all the support and well wishes from everybody. Just to let you know, I'm on the mend. I'm trying to get there, and all du'as are appreciated, so keep them coming. That's number one. Number two is, while we have her in the queue today, working the back of the shout out show, again, we want to give a shout out to Sister Satana and her team for producing an amazing iftar out there in New Jersey, giving out fish dinners. I wish I was there. I wish I was still fasting. I know I could taste that fish dinner right now. It's coming through the screen right now. I could taste the fish dinner. However, I was blessed that Sister Ree was working on some fish and mashed potatoes yesterday. And them fish and mashed potatoes were banging. Sister Ree, thank you so much for the fish and mashed potatoes. It was killer. I appreciate it. So, as we begin to kind of get in that space, the topic of the show is Ramadan wind down thoughts. And every year I try to not do it right at the end of Ramadan, because you're looking more so for the end, and the reflections can get a little hazy, What I learned, or what I felt was interesting about Ramadan this year, is in the space of when I had capacity to help, in that space while I didn't have capacity to help, it really affected my spiritual DNA. And what I mean is, Ramadan is that space where a lot of times, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, you just want to get things right. You really, really want to work through things. When I say things, it could be emotions, it could be finances, it could be whatever your politics is, it could be your spiritual relationship. And I found myself a little bit befuddled because the world was not a happy place. I know we've had this before, and I'm not naive, but we literally started off Ramadan with a world crisis, with a war between Ukraine and Russia. We started out that way, and we're most likely going to end with the war still going on. The thought, if you will, of loss of innocent life, particularly women and children, just the loss of innocent life, the idea that we can break fast all we want to, but we know essentially that people's lives have been broken. And so that bothered me. because I feel in my heart of hearts, like most of you, that people are entitled to have happiness and joy in their life. And for too long and too often, we have allowed people through the machinations and the machinery of politics and religion in some regards to smash those general foundational rights that people have. You know, I did an event on the Sunday. And what was interesting was a year ago when I did this event, at the first event, they were talking about the infringement of Hindu Muslims in India on Indian Muslims. And it was the light stuff, and then a political shift came, and like people were literally being attacked. And it's hard to fast. You know, it's hard to fast because all of us, in many regards, we're tied into the world. We feel this compassion for our brothers and sisters, and I'm no different. One of the things also with the Ramadan wind down thoughts was I really got to work on my patience. What I mean is, despite the good things that happened to me, and there were a wonderful abundance of good things that happened, I still have a thirst and sometimes an impatience that it doesn't happen for other people around me. That somehow the quality of my du'as is not bringing these people relief, whether it be health, whether it be finances. You know, we all have our challenges, emotional challenges, spiritual challenges. We all have that. And I found that it's important to have this. And here's the reason why. A couple people have referenced a show a while back we did about manners, talking about adab. And what I found with manners, because I was specifically yesterday talking about youth. I was talking about a sniper in the DC area. And I was talking about, you know, people who do things, youth who attack other youth, which is basically what I was talking about. And I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I said, you know, one of the interesting things is the old school way, however we want to talk about how folks are being raised, or that procedure, if you will, it employed and it instituted patience. Even as a young comedian, let me add this, even as a young comedian, as much as I wanted to get on that stage when I was 17, I had to wait my turn. It was not a matter of whether I had great jokes or the best jokes or I was the funniest guy in the house that night. It was that there was a pecking order. And that pecking order respected people who had come before me and had put in their time, even if they weren't dead out funny or not even funny at all, but they had put in that time. And I used to get frustrated, and I found out it's the fact that they loved the game as much as I loved the game. But in loving the game that way, there's patience. And why is patience so important? You know, because if you really, really, truly have patience, it means that you've gone through a process, that there's a humility there, that there's a call to action for wherever you're trying to go or whatever you're trying to execute. And there's a history there. And it's a very blessed history. It allows you in some regards not to make the same mistakes, because I think people, this is interesting, because people mistake patience for speed. Let me say it again. People mistake patience for speed. Like if I have to have a lot of patience, it means that I'm not going to get to my goal right away. Speed has to do with urgency. Speed has to do with immediacy. I want immediate gratification. And that, brothers and sisters, has nothing to do with patience. So listen, what we're going to do. We got people in the queue today, and I'm just running off at the mouth. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, pause for the cause, get this thing officially rolling. You're here on the Shout Out Show with Preacher Moss. Much love. Talking about Ramadan wind down thoughts. We'll be right back. All right, we are officially back. Let's go ahead. Let's not hesitate. We got some beautiful spirits in the shout out show comment section today. Our shout out show soldiers, our stars in the building. Shout out show family. Thank you guys so much for joining. All right, warm thoughts to SOS family as Ramadan nears its close. Thank you, Mama Son. We appreciate you. Owe you a call. Next up, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Sister Ree, and assalamu alaikum, Mama, as well. Man, listen, that food was right on time yesterday, right on time. I got a funny story to tell you about the rest of that food, but we'll save that for another time. Thanks so much. Peace and blessings to you, Derek, and of course, the young, impressionable young steward, Jawan. Please give them all our well wishes and our salams. All right. Bala Salahuddin, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's going on, brother? I'm talking about salams for both of us. Well, brother, salam to both of you. I'm only going to get one salam. Y'all have to split it between you. You know my intentions. Man, thank you guys so much for joining the show. And I'm going to ask everybody, just don't jump off the show too quick today. I'm going to try and speak to what I talked about yesterday while we have Sister Satana here. All right. My main man, all tough. Rashid, what's the show without Mr. 6 o'clock, straight up, straight down, a Canadian ambassador to the show. Thank you so much for coming to the show, brother. And we appreciate you. And if I haven't said it lately, I'm telling you now, we appreciate you. Everybody, if I haven't said I appreciate you during the month of Ramadan, then you could say that your boy is not on his job. Yes, everyone here is worthy of adoration and respect, and you're going to get it. Appreciate you. Next up, my main man, Eric Carter. What's up, Eric? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, man. I hope everything's going well for you, brother. We're at that end of the day. As you guys wind up your fast, inshallah, man, may Allah make it easy on the tail end and, continue to reward you and may bless you with the food to go out and serve his creations. I mean, next up, my little brother. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Kareem to you, little Ak. Man, yeah, my Ramadan streak is broken, man. I'm gonna start a new one. But hey, brother, thank you so much for reaching out. I sent you something. I know you had a good laugh on it. I think you responded to it. I hadn't had a chance to check your text though. Much love. And we also want to give a shout out to our consulting producer. That would be Sister Satana. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Doing well. And she says, shout out to Brother George Sabir, the steak and take truck owner who donated fish dinners for iftar. Well, we gotta make sure that we advertise. Sister Tana, you call Brother Sabir and you tell him we're gonna give him a month of free advertising just for doing good in the hood. How about that? So if he has a video or something, tell him I'm gonna run it for the low price of $0. Because I appreciate him feeding those seniors. That warms my heart. You guys are amazed. You probably be amazed, but little things like that really get me excited. Hold on a minute. I got to grab my towel. You know how it is. But yeah, you call Brother Sabir, and if he has a logo, if Brother Sabir has a logo, then let's go ahead and support his business. We can't have people just doing good work like this. He probably doesn't even want it, and I know he didn't ask for it, but I'm offering it. Okay, so shout out to Brother Sabir. I heard about the steak and take truck. I just never been out there to get it. All right, shout out to steak and take. All right, so this is the idea I started with yesterday, and so I have Sister Satana here. Sister Satana have asked everybody, our shout out your family, particularly our regulars, to please send you their email. This is what I need specifically. I need your email, I need your home address, and I need your phone number. Email, home address, phone number. No, I'm not going to solicit you with bots and stuff like this. The one thing we haven't had ever here on the Shout Out Show is our own iftar. So I've decided that I want us to have our own iftar. While we can't eat at the same time, relax. What I would like to do is send everybody a dinner. And we can go to Uber Eats and you can tell me what you want and we will order it up and have it sent to you. The day I would like to do it is probably on Friday or Saturday so that everybody can have their food by the time the show starts. Not to be eating during the show, but when the show is over, to break bread on myself and Sister Satana, because all of y'all have been instrumental, very, very supportive during this Ramadan 30 for 30. Because I keep telling y'all, and I have to remind myself, we were going Monday through Thursday with one spotlight Saturday every Monday. And I'll be honest and be accountable. We fell off on our Saturday spotlights for a minute. But just the fact that the moment we picked up that we went 7 days a week and we're doing Saturday spotlights, it's just amazing. Everybody tuned in. And everybody, I want you to know we got a banger this weekend. We got Imam Siraj Wahaj and Imam Zaid on the same show on the same day. We've never done it before. I'm really, really excited to have them on. So listen to what I asked, please. Send your name, email, home address, and phone number. Name, email, home address, and phone number. So we can get everybody's order, okay? Because it takes a little bit of coordinating. I've never done it before, but I'm gonna try it. How about that? Sister Donna's like, "Are you okay? You still sick?" I just want to make sure that I get an opportunity to give the people who give me a lot of energy and support just a meal, as well as Sister Satana. Okay, let's move that off. So let's get back to our topic, which is Ramadan wind down thoughts. One of the things that was happy for me was the ability for a lot of us to be able to go to the masjid for Taraweeh prayers or just go for iftar. Yes, there is the specter of a COVID hangover. That being said, we've kind of worked through that space and we do things to protect ourselves. And at the moment that it doesn't seem safe, we will make the proper decisions. But to see the youth serving the elders doing iftar, to myself spend time at an iftar for Shia Muslims and have family there and to talk to them about not only how we practice this faith, but actually talk to them about, and these are the projects I'm doing. And let me even explain this even further. That while I essentially have kind of been out of commission since April the 14th, let's call it that people responded to the call of the Sin Preacher Mosque, the Prison Project. And so I really, really felt a spiritual lift in a lot of different ways because, the last time I ever did a launch good project, I'm going to be honest, I think people donated maybe about $100 or $500, and they were just good people. And I gave it back. I had problems with the format. But that's neither here nor there. The idea is that I appreciated the little things, and then I really love the ability to appreciate almost the unseen. So maybe it took illness during Ramadan to get me back to a space where I appreciate the unseen. Where when I close my eyes, if I think someone is hungry, I will call them. Where if I'm feeling blah, blah, if I think somebody's feeling worse than blah, blah, or something the way I'm going, I'll call them and send a text. And that is the revitalization of respect and attention paid to the unseen, or what we call al-ghaib. Over and over again, it's been presented in the Quran as we talk about our Jews' reflection. We've never done, we didn't do a Jews reflection last year. We just kind of rolled with it. And that proximity to the Quran of preparing to speak on the Jews has been really, really satisfying. That rendition that Bela Evans gave was off of just one verse, one ayat, and it could have filled the show. We could have done a whole show around that. And the general spirit of people working in the way of their Lord, because we know we owe. We know we owe. God's never really gonna tell you like, yo, you owe me. You know you owe. The minute you take a blessing, you're in that space. But what you owe is not that individual. What you owe is the person that doesn't get that blessing. So things like Sister Satana calling them, I ain't gonna be here on Monday. That was the best call I had all day. Not that you don't do a good job, Sister Satana. I was like, oh, good. I'm glad you ain't here. It was none of that. It was that you had a dedicated soldier going out to do work. And that work was important work. So what I like to do, I hope you guys don't mind. Just want to get a quick drink of water. We're going to run a Islamic Relief ad. Shout out to Islamic Relief holding us down for Ramadan 30 for 30. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a brief Jews reflection. This is Islamic Relief USA talking about the power of education. We'll be right back.
Sponsor an orphan and you'll help support a vulnerable child to have the education they've always dreamed of, so they can build a brighter future. You'll be feeding a hungry stomach and a hungry mind with knowledge that will last them a lifetime. That's the power of an education. Sponsor an orphan now with Islamic Relief.
Hey babies, welcome to Radio WCUC, Convenient Urgent Care, home of the smart patient. This is DJ What It Do. You know what time it is. It's the top of the hour and the request lines are open. You know what you want to hear. I know what you want to hear. Operators are waiting.
I just gotta hear Don't Get the COVID.
Don't get the COVID. Put your mask back on. The Delta COVID, more contagious than before. Don't get the COVID. Go on and get the vaccine. You know that it can keep you safe, and your people living up in your space. Don't get the COVID. You need to wash your hands. The Delta COVID is more deadly than before. Don't get the COVID. Go on and get your vaccine. You know that it can keep you from dying. Don't leave your family all alone and crying. Don't get the COVID.
We invite you to join our fight against COVID and against misinformation. It's time to listen to the doctors and trust the science.
When I think of people dying that don't have to die, it makes me sad. Now's the time to be sober. Together we can make this thing over. Let's fight the COVID. Convenient urgent care, home of the smart patient.
All right, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Sister Satana. You caught that. I appreciate you. That's why you're a pro. And I'm trying to get to when I grow up, I want to be you. All right. So listen, let's get to good news. I can't say it. Reflection on Jews number 25. I'm not going to read it because it's just a lot of stuff I would leave out. But the one that's always stood out to me, it's this one, particularly in the business that I'm in. It says, treat people with kindness, even if they are harsh and rude to you, as this will remove enmity and bring affection in relationships. Do not be a people without a will of your own, saying, if the people treated well, we would treat them well. And if they do wrong, if they do wrong, we will do wrong. But accustom yourselves to do good if people do good and not do wrong if they do evil. It's about patience. This whole idea that we can have a blessing and somehow conflate that blessing to how someone else treats us, and that person is not a loss upon the other. How do we justify that? How do we get in that space? And this doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Jew, Christian. How do we get in a space where you have a divine engagement, investment in your life, and you hold on to it long enough and use it improperly to the point whereby your engagement is not with the person that gave it to you, but it's with the people who are around you who didn't receive it in the first place. I've often said this about Shaitan. We give Shaitan a lot of credit. You know why we give Shaitan a lot of credit? Because it means that we don't have to take accountability. It means we can somehow say that Shaitan made us weak. He didn't make us weak. He didn't make us weak. He knew we were weak. And in his offering, he appealed to the lowest common denominator of your intellect to get you to act a damn fool. And when you get around people who don't operate on the lowest common denominator of their intellect, you feel somehow incomplete. You feel somehow bucking of the system because you failed the system. The system didn't fail you. This quote I just read is the crux of how you can have an army, conquer something, and still treat the people with respect. This is the concept of a Gandhi. This is the concept of a Martin Luther King. It wasn't turning the other cheek. He knew the desperation and the condition of the people with which he was having to interact. Malcolm X said this thing, and it was genius. Because he explained to people that when you talking or dealing with an animal, if you're dealing with a dog, you're dealing with a wolf, speaking English does not connect to that animal. And divine language rolls off the back of the animal. It doesn't connect. It doesn't have value. And thus you become a target because they see you now as the problem. On the day of Yom Kippur, they say the reason you want to forgive people like this is that on the day of Yom Kippur, you don't want to be the one that's responsible for their punishment. That they did you wrong, that they did you dirty, that they broke the law, that they killed people. The idea is that you forgive them because on the day of Yom Kippur, we don't want our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, being held up, praying for the intercession of these sins as opposed to the intercession of our spirits. What do you want? A conversation about getting into paradise or a conversation about all these people that did you wrong? If you forgive them, it's gone on the day of Yom Kippur. And we can go A, with the blessing of forgiving, but B, we alleviate the burden off of our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and let him speak to God about our souls, not about our wrongs. Listen, I gotta go because I'm sweating like a Hebrew slave up here, and that's all I got. So we're gonna go ahead and fade to black. Before I go, please send what I asked for to permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. Name of the that's pretty good. Sister Satana, you on time today. Okay. Send name, address, phone number, email to permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. Sister Donna, I don't know, Brother Sabir, I don't know if I ever met him, but please extend to him if he has a logo or just a little video. In fact, if we can, I'd like to even get him on the show and just say thank you. All right, I know, I gotta go. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Why would I do a CD called Confessions of a Muslim Comedian? And that was the idea of bringing entertainment to Muslims, for Muslims, about Muslims, but for everybody.
I got Dean in my life. Who is Dean? What you bring Dean around here? You know how Muslims get you all hyped up? And he said, brother, you ready to be Muslim? I said, yeah. He said, you know what that means? I said, tell me, brother. He said, you ready to give up the swine? I said, yes, sir. I'm giving up the swine. He said, are you ready to give up the alcohol? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol. He said, you ready to give up the women? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol.